Well, and a first for South Africa's specialised whisky retailer, WhiskyBrother, has been named the Global Multiple Outlet Retailer of the Year. I got your attention of whisky, didn't I? The honour was announced at the Whisky Magazine's 2023 Icon Award ceremony over in London. Well, let's bring in the founder and co-owner of WhiskyBrother. It's Marc Pendlebury joining us this morning. First of all, Marc, congratulations. It's really a wonderful accolade for your organisation to get as well. What goes into getting an award like this? I mean, it's quite something for you to get that multiple outlet retailer of the year. It basically means you're top of your game, aren't you? Morning.
Good morning. Yes, that's what it means. And I mean, exactly how the judging happens, there's a little bit of an air of mystique there, but we do know it's multiple rounds, and we do know that we compete on the global stage with global retailers, everywhere. So to take or bring home the accolade is quite something. And as you said, it's the first for South Africa. And we're incredibly honoured and humbled and proud of the occasion.
So help me understand, because I understand there's a multiple outlet retailer of the year and a global single retail outlet at the same time. I mean, it sounds like it should be fairly easy to understand, but is there a big difference there?
I think there is, because generally, if you think of a single outlet retailer, it's usually quite independent. And as I guess businesses grow and they maybe open up more outlets, you'd expect them maybe to lose a little bit of that independence, depending on the environment. I'd also, the fact that we're competing globally means that in some instances, for multiple outlet retailers, you're competing with retailers that have up to 30 stores in the UK or dozens of stores across the US, because those are very big markets. As a South African business, we are still 100% independent. We're quite small. We only have three outlets. And actually, 3 years ago, we won the Single Outlet Retailer Award because we still had a single store. So in the last 2-3 years, we've opened up 2 more stores. That's now moved us up into a different category, which I personally think is the competition is a lot fiercer, because you generally are dealing with bigger players. But we've still managed to kind of eke out a win.
This is exactly why I asked you about the single retail outlet, because you won that back in 2021. I think it was 2021. Yet you've managed to go and nab the multiple retail outlet. And I'm talking about the timing here, Marc, as well. It was during COVID-19. At one point, nobody could buy what you were selling, yet you still managed to grow the company the way that you did. Please give me the secret. How did you get that right?
There's no magic bullet. I think here it's a combination of good business practice. We were on a stable footing pre-COVID, which helped us get through COVID. We managed to look after our staff, which we wanted to do, and they're like family to us. So, which meant that post-COVID, we were able to pick up the pieces fairly quickly. As we also know, during the alcohol bans that South Africa had, there were periods of where consumers could purchase. And thankfully, we've got quite a good, strong customer base that seem to really appreciate what we offer them. And so we had really good support from our community, which helped us pick up the pieces quite quickly. So we had plans for our second outlet pre-COVID. So when COVID came around, everything just was, as you'd imagine, just halted. We had some very difficult months. We had to go to the bank. We had to get additional finances. We still had to pay our rental. We still wanted to pay our staff. So it was quite tricky. And your mention of our first award, I vividly remember we were sitting. It was 2020 that we won the single outlet retailer. It was as COVID was kind of getting into the spotlight, and we were actually shutting down one of our stores, as in locking up for the alcohol ban. We were meant to be in London. We had bought tickets to the ceremony in London. The ceremony was obviously cancelled because international travel was banned. And we were sitting watching on our phones. They had a live stream where we found out we won. So it was very bittersweet, because for the first time we'd kind of been recognized on the international stage. And yet, obviously, we were suddenly worried about the viability of our business through, the draconian alcohol ban. So thankfully, we picked up the pieces. We work really hard. We've got a great team. We've got great supporters and customers. And so when the alcohol bans were lifted, we were able to get going. I think the key here is a little bit of persistence, good business practice, and wonderful people, both from the customer perspective and from a team perspective.
Yeah, let's not forget as well, all that is true, but also fantastic whiskey. I think let's not take away from the fact also the fantastic whiskey. I know what you mean. It was a bit of a bittersweet. It's almost like having your whiskey with ice. I can't do it. I drink it like the good old boys made it personally. So last question to you then, Mark. We can get into the ice, no ice debate one day. You and I can have some fun. So what do you do with this award now? So playing on the international stage, now just very briefly, Mark, just map out for me in 30 seconds. What's the goal next? Do you just go into global domination? You start buying out Jameson and all the big founders of the world, or what's the plan next for Whiskey?
No, we're so far away from that, and we don't have any kind of we don't have ambitions to that scale. I think the truth is we've grown as we've seen demand from the community, from our customers, and so we already have a lot going on. And we turned 10 in December, so it's our 10th anniversary year. We've got some special releases planned, and we are this year expanding the business internationally. So this will be the first year, and I was actually just in Scotland last week setting up some final pieces, and watch this space if any of your viewers are interested, or you're interested, just WhiskyBrother.com, but in the next 2 weeks we'll announce something. But we will actually be taking the brand overseas now. We have staff in Scotland, and we're building out just a small base of operations there. It's not about retail yet, and it's not about building something to a large extent. It's just we're passionate about this. We often go to Scotland, as you'd imagine, for the whiskey, and so it just makes strategic sense. And for us, it's always been about what are we passionate about, what's cool to do, and we think having a small business in Scotland is pretty cool. So
it makes sense, and it's pretty cool as well. Of course it is. Congratulations, Mark, and thanks for the time. I just wanted to get your sense on how the company's grown, and well done on the awards as well. Founder and co-owner of Whiskey Brother, Marc Pendlebury, joining us this morning. They have been awarded the Global Multiple Outlet Retailer of the Year for 2023. It's at the Icons of Whiskey, announced in London by Whiskey Magazine. All the best to them. Cheers to them, if you will, and their future